Welcome to Children's Worship at University Christian Church in Fort Worth, Texas. This time is for grown-ups and kids, but it's mostly for the grown-ups to hear how we approach our Bible story and emphasis on Sunday and give your family a chance to continue the conversation at home. Our scripture this week is from the Gospel of John, chapter 8, verses 1 through 8. It's the story of a woman who was found committing a crime in ancient days. She was found with someone who was not her husband. The religious leaders of the day brought only the woman to Jesus. The woman was surrounded by what I can only imagine was a large group of men, all with power and authority over her. The leaders wanted Jesus to call for her to be killed. While death was not permitted for this crime per Roman rule, it was part of the law of Moses, and it's believed that the leaders at the time were attempting to see how Jesus upheld Torah. The scriptures tell us that Jesus bent down and began writing with his finger in the ground. We don't know what he wrote, but when he stood up, he simply told those gathered, "Let anyone among you who is without sin be the first to throw a stone at her." And one by one, the crowd went away until it was only Jesus and the woman standing there. Jesus tells her that he does not condemn her and says, "Go your way, and from now on, do not sin again." It's going to seem like a difficult passage for kids to understand. I think it's because we get caught up in the details of the allegations and the punishment. But at its core, this is a relatively easy lesson for children to understand about Jesus. Jesus forgives. Jesus makes it abundantly clear to all of those standing around hoping for consequences to remember that we all mess up. Jesus forgives the woman and reminds her to go her way, to keep living her life, doing her best not to sin again. I invite you to practice forgiveness this week. As adults, it can be hard to authentically apologize to our kids or family when we have hurt them. But Jesus shows us that we have to. It's part of finding our way, to be the people we're created to be. Don't force your child to say, "I'm sorry." Instead, talk about what it feels like to be hurt in the ways Jesus teaches us to live, loving others, being the best of who we are created to be, and how our sin against someone else can make it hard for them to feel their very best. Forgiveness is not easy, but it seems simple for Jesus on that day. Let's keep practicing and teaching our children through our own actions and new ways to forgive so they can find their own beautiful way in the world. It's a very example of divine forgiveness, from death to life. We are called to live in ways that are our very best, to go our way and live the way Jesus teaches us to live, loving God and loving our neighbor as ourselves. This is the easiest part of the lesson for kids, to love God and love others, to forgive and be forgiven.